you talk about the role that an active citizenry has played as characterized by that Congress of the People in 1955. And is that what you're calling for, that we need to put the citizens back at the heart of power in this country?
We lost our power the day we outsourced our future to politicians. Now it's time to take it back. Greetings, my fellow South Africans. It's Kondos from Nkari. It's time, the channel where we speak truth to power. Before 1994, our communities were alive with purpose. People didn't wait for handouts. They acted. They came together in stokvels, formed street committees, ran cooperatives, and built grassroots structures that made real, everyday governance possible. This was the essence of people power. This was the promise of the Freedom Charter. The people shall govern.
Exactly, yes. So during the days of struggle, people formed organizations. There were organizations on the ground. People did things for themselves. There were self-help organizations. People struggled for services, but people actually took things in their own hands and did things. Like there were things called the organs of people's power, and people felt empowered. Then came 1990. The ANC came back into the country, and a lot of those organizations were dissolved. And because then they became the ANC kind of like took the leading role, kind of like they centralized power. But even worse, in 1994, the ANC takes power, and kind of like democracy happens. And then this culture develops that Pretoria will do everything for us. And so people basically lost agency. They lost their ability to do things for themselves. They did not have ownership of the state, essentially, of the government. So the government was like the government was external to them. The state was external to them, which is why you see often when there are protests, people go and burn public property. They burn schools, they burn clinics, they burn things as if like it's not theirs. So what I'm saying is that let's take back that thing. Let people actually be active citizens. Let people actually govern themselves. Let people co-govern with the government, and let the people have that ownership of their own destiny, which is something that unfortunately in South Africa we've lost. It's a top-down thing. Government will do this for you. Pretoria will do this for you. And if Pretoria doesn't do it for you, then you become, you're a recipient of the largesse of the state rather than an active member of the South African society.
The shift and consequences. But after 1994, something changed. We thought democracy meant government will do everything for us. We stopped organizing. We stopped being creators of our own futures. We handed over our power, and in return got arrogance, corruption, and betrayal from the ANC government. Our streets are no longer safe. Our youth have no jobs. Our communities are broken. Not because we are broken, but because we stopped believing that we are the solution.
The legacy of the Freedom Charter was that it then formed the basis for what the ANC, going to negotiations in the 90s, wanted in terms of the Constitution. So what you see in the Constitution of South Africa today is essentially the Freedom Charter. The kernel of our Constitution is the Freedom Charter. And so what I'm saying in the piece that I'm arguing today is that we've lost a bit of our way there in terms of what the ideals of the Freedom Charter were. And that I'm saying that let's revisit the Freedom Charter, let's dust it off and go back to those principles of the Freedom Charter. And as we go into the national dialogue that the President has proposed, which will be starting to take place later this year, let's use the Freedom Charter as the basis for how South Africa should relook itself right now and take stock of what it is. Are we still true to the vision of 1955 or not? And find our way forward in terms of kind of like that. Because the Freedom Charter was really our soul during the struggle.
Floyd Shivambu's call to action. Recently, Floyd Shivambu called for something bold, a real political movement of the people, not a cult, not a fiefdom, not tribalism, not family, a return to grassroots power. He called on all of us to go back to the drawing board, to revisit the Freedom Charter, dust it off and make it real again. Not with empty slogans, but with real action. Stokvels that build local economies, street committees that bring accountability, cooperatives that provide jobs, self-governance that put people first. This isn't about politicians saving us. It's about saving ourselves. It's about people governing themselves again.
The current political parties are not adequate instruments to represent majority of South Africans in terms of the politics of true emancipation and true liberation. Majority of the political parties are just associations of self-seeking individuals or cults or family-run businesses who are about utilizing money for their own benefits and not for the benefit
Didn't you
of
call the
whole
EFF
society.
a cult?
It's important that you should consult the people of South Africa. A political party must not be a personal project. Must not be an individual's project. It must not be a group of friends who just agree amongst themselves that they're going to start a political party.
Is that
Reclaiming the future. The time for blaming is over. Nkari is time. Time to organize. Time to create. Time to govern from the ground up. We must stop waiting for salvation from Parliament. The real revolution begins in our townships, villages, and urban corners, not in corridors of power. If you believe it's time to bring power back to the people, like this video, share it with your community, comment below, the people shall govern. Join us as we build a movement based on self-reliance, dignity, and unity. Subscribe to Nkari It's Time, because real change doesn't come from above, it starts with us. Thank you for watching and take care.